Hey, Jason Seiden here. So this week, let me start by just saying thank you for all of the kindness that you exhibited after last week's video about finding joy in tough spots. I heard from a lot of people, and I just thank you. It's been great. And hopefully you're showing some love to the people in your network too. I think that is even more important. So this week, look, the world is on fire. Russia has invaded Ukraine. The governor of Texas has equated the parents of trans children to child abusers. Florida has passed a Don't Say Gay bill. There's almost 300 pieces of anti-trans legislation in play. I mean, the pendulum is swinging hard back the other way here in this country, and around the world, we're seeing not a lot of empathy. And not only are we seeing these horrible things happen that are impacting real people's lives, but because of social media, we see the impacts. I see it up, I'm scrolling through my Instagram feed and I am watching a rocket hit a residential building in the Ukraine. All of a sudden I'm finding I have to be an expert in putting up a boundary. And I'm not an expert in boundaries. But if I want to get through my day and I want to be productive and I want to find the right balance between it's empathy time, it's work time, I do have to put some mental fences in place. How? Here's what I've started doing to try to get better in this area. First is I try and slow myself down. Literally just take a breath. Diet from some of the screen time. Secondly, I laugh. I mean, I really do find humor. Just to hit on a point from last week, I said, I was appreciative because I had this girl, my daughter, who had expanded my capacity for joy with her birth and then expanded my capacity for grief when she died. And how do you just not be grateful for somebody who gives you more life to live? Well, take that one step further. My joy came half from being able to feel more joy. The other half of my joy came from being able to feel more grief. I mean, it's kind of mind-blowing. I was joyful because I could experience pain. Let that sink in. And so when I try to put these boundaries up, I do try to find some humor in situations, even dark ones. So a few years ago, I told myself I was dealing with some shit, and I'm like, you know what? No big decisions this month, no sharp objects. And it was just funny enough. It was gallows humor, but it was just funny enough that it kind of put me on the right path. So you got to do what works for you. That's just what works for me. And once I do that, I really focus on communication first. I've always found communication is a great doorway to solving real issues because it's controllable. Fundamental issues often aren't, but generally there's a lot we can do to simplify issues by taking all the communication noise off the table. I think about the story of Babel, the Tower of Babel. Man wanted to build a tower to the heavens. God said no. And God didn't stop mankind by removing the architects or taking our tools away. God just said, I'm going to give you all different languages and make it hard to communicate. And that'll stop the plans in their tracks. So I pull that forward and I say, okay, where am I creating noise, either for myself or in the world? Or where can I create clarity for myself in the world? And certainly seeing people and validating them before you speak. I mean, all the basic things, be respectful. And the one that I do for myself that I don't find a lot of other people do is I really meditate on the word dayenu, which is Hebrew for it would have been enough. And the reason I do is because a lot of the angst that I often feel comes from this sense of never being able to do enough. I don't have an army. I can't really help in the Ukraine sufficiently. So whatever I do has to be enough. I have to be able to do something and say, did it. That's my contribution. It's going to get matched with hundreds, thousands, millions of other contributions, and in total will be sufficient to move a needle. And that's true whatever the issue is. So for me, taking care of myself starts with making sure that the communication that I engage in is not making problems worse. And in my own head, that starts with this notion of dayenu. and just saying, hey, look, these are big issues. They're bigger than me. So my contribution to a solution has to be enough. And then I build from there. So that's it for now. I am going to go find my Zen and get some work done and try not to let these huge issues of the week entirely take me down. Because, hey, look, I might have a true north, but that doesn't mean it's easy to hold in mind all the time. So this is just one of the things I got to do to execute. I love you. I'll see you next week.